Hi. In this short video, I'll be going over my teaching philosophy, and I'd like to start just by talking about this little question here. Bobby has 4 dimes, Amy has 30 pennies. Which child has more money? The student wrote Bobby. And then how do you know? Show your thinking. We have a little stick cartoon here of a child thinking Bobby. Uh, this is a really kind of sweet way to start talking about our teaching philosophies as educators, because a lot of students just kind of think, well, it should be obvious, right? It should be obvious how someone teaches, it should be obvious how, classes should go. And that, in fact, needs to be kind of considered and thought about. In college, we really do go back to our assumptions about how the world works and think, well, is this actually true or not? And my teaching career has been full of revelations about, what has worked for me in the past is not working for students. And I really need to rethink what I do in the classroom, both face to face and online, to really think about what works. Now, this may not be exactly what students like, and I know that there's a big difference in those two things. And so, hopefully, in explaining kind of why I do the things I do in my classes, students will have a better understanding of, what's the rationale here? Is he really torturing us this much? Or is it more, about having a high expectations and helping students reach those? So, the very kind of first thing I think we need to talk about is concept maps. Now, I know many of us in the past maybe have done like, sticky notes on a big sheet of paper or something, um, and, wrote how these things are kind of organized, right? You might do this in biology class, you might do this in, say, a math class, thinking about lines, equations, graphs, and what all those things look like. This diagram I think is really nice because it shows like the domain itself, right? The area of study, like mathematics, has a structure. There's kind of patterns, there's rules, there's big ideas. And as we learn them, we kind of develop our own kind of concept maps. Now, I don't want to get this confused. Like, the domain itself doesn't have like one way of organizing. There are multiple ways of kind of thinking about different subjects. Um, and the point here isn't to replicate exactly what an expert say knows, but it is to think about the fact that our concept maps are all going to be different based on our different levels of understanding. So here we have the domain itself, we have a novice learning, the material, and then we have an expert. Now, this expert has been doing this for a long time. They've, maybe had multiple classes, maybe have a graduate degree in this topic area. Um, and the thing that I think really I want to convey here is that my concept map cannot be your concept map. I think that idea of knowledge transfer is something that we all expect in kind of a college level class, and there's a lot of research to show that that isn't a great thing to do in a class. Knowledge transfer is great for, computers, great for, programming things, but people are not computers. People are really complex systems that learn through experiences. And that experiences piece is really what I focus in on in my math classes, and really this idea of the zone of proximal development. So this idea is basically saying we have tasks that learner can do without assistance, so things you can just do on your own. The tasks that learner can do with assistance, this kind of area here, and then tasks that learner cannot do even with assistance. So this is kind of outside our abilities, right? And I really want to stress that this kind of middle area here, in the past, this was done by direct instruction by a lot of your K-12 instructors, educators as well. In college, that doesn't happen all the time, right? I'm not going to be there as you're learning material consistently, especially if we were doing online classes. So I really want you to think about this area, the tasks that learner can do with assistance, not being me directly being present there in front of you, but being there in terms of the homework assignments, the activities, the discussion forums, the quizzes, the announcements I provide, the feedback and reaching out to you all. Those are all kind of the things that I'm doing to try to help you get to where you need to go. And again, it's not me sitting there in front of you, and we'll talk more about that later, but I really want you to think about the entire class being something I designed and made and created and have been improving for a number of years. So I know, and again, some things may not work, some things may break, and if that happens, let me know. But a lot of what you're going to experience in the class is going to be kind of hands off. I mean, I generally teach asynchronous classes when you're doing work kind of at different times than I'm, online. So consider that. Uh, this is a common kind of question, right? You're going to tell us what to do. And, in a lot of areas, people are moving away from kind of this traditional model of what education looks like to a more active learning model. In my classes, I do things ranging from like full on, POGL type activities and group based work through, more kind of relaxed active learning activities in discussion forums. Um, in the traditional model, students are expected to achieve these levels on their own outside of the classroom. Excuse me, let me back up. Uh, this is what's called the, oh geez, I just forgot it. Bloom's taxonomy, excuse me. Bloom's taxonomy is this idea that the concepts and ideas that we have in the world have multiple levels. There's kind of this base level of just remembering, of just like information recall. There's understand, which is a little bit more about, how do these kind of separate facts relate. Apply, a lot of what we do in a math class is apply our, knowledge to different situations. Analyze, given some information, can you kind of make a, estimate, or can you make a educated guess as to the structure or patterns of some things? Evaluate, given someone else's work, can you, look at to see where they went wrong, where they went correct, all those other pieces. And then create is the biggest one. This could be something like writing your own practice problems, right, for an upcoming math test. So in the traditional model, you're expected to kind of do these things on your own, these kind of like higher order things. And then, we have new information that's conveyed through passive didactics. Literally just someone like pushing the information to you. That's that information kind of knowledge transfer piece I've been talking about. And quite frankly, like, you all can do a lot of this stuff, like that basic just sucking in the information. Um, a lot of research has been shown that this isn't an area that we need to spend a lot of time on. This stuff is, right? Apply, analyze, evaluate, create. This is the harder stuff. And, in our activities and elsewhere, you're going to see a lot of different things that I'm asking you to do that are kind of based on this, right? Or I'm having you explore this with others so we can get to these kind of other levels. So it's not going to be me. I mean, I will be there. I have a lot of supports for students. I do have high expectations, but I provide a lot of support to meet them. And hopefully you're going to be seeing that throughout the class. Yeah, this is hard. This takes a lot of my time. I, don't record lectures. I don't lecture directly in face-to-face classes. I don't do this because for lots of reasons. I believe, for one, in your worth. I believe in your intelligence. I think you are all capable people who can learn this material. And I would really feel like we'd be wasting our time if I just told you what the material was. That's not going to help you in the future. College is really about learning how to learn. And I'm providing, I think, really good experiences to do that. And it's going to require something of you. And it requires something of me too. And I think that's the honest route of what we should be doing in a college class. I also believe I talked about this before. My understanding cannot be yours. I cannot literally just transfer what I know to you because I've had lots of experiences with this material. And my class is about having those experiences by yourself, with technology, with others, with myself. We need all of these things. These multiple experiences are something that I really think hard about. And, if you have feedback, great. I would ask you to try them. Give it an honest shot. You're never going to, to do the things we've never done before, we have to do things we've never done. To get a college degree, you're going to have to do things you've never tried before. And so I think you should try this stuff and also ask questions. Questions are the, fundamental part of our learning that I think that we don't utilize enough. Um, so yeah, that's all I have. Thank you so much. I know this went a little over than I expected. If you do have questions, let me know, and I hope to talk to you soon.